Don't touch anything. The command echoed through the abandoned warehouse as sparks flew from the bomb squad's diagnostic equipment. The electromagnetic pulse from the device had fried every piece of modern technology within 50 feet. Computers dead, sensors blank. Even their communication systems were crackling with static. In the sudden technological darkness, Elena Kowalski felt oddly at home. While her teammates stared helplessly at their blank screens, she knelt beside the device with tools that had never needed software updates. The bomb's digital display flickered mockingly, counting down from 15 minutes with the confidence of a machine that believed itself unstoppable. Elena picked up her grandfather's wire cutters, feeling the weight of metal that had defused Nazi bombs before she was born. "Tell me your secrets," she whispered to the device, and began to listen in a language older than circuits. "From which city in the world are you watching this video today? If this story moves you, consider subscribing for more tales of ordinary people in extraordinary moments." Elena Kowalski had learned to disarm bombs from a man who'd done it by candlelight during the Blitz. Her grandfather hadn't had computers or digital displays or electromagnetic sensors. He'd had his hands, his experience, and tools simple enough to work when the power was out and London was burning. "Feel the device, little one," he'd told her during those childhood summers in his workshop. "Every bomb has a heartbeat. Every wire wants to tell you its purpose." The bomb squad thought those lessons were quaint stories from another era. They thought her methods were outdated superstition, right up until their $2 million mobile command unit suffered a catastrophic system failure, and suddenly the only person who could save downtown Portland was a 64-year-old woman with wire cutters that predated the internet. Bomb Squad Commander Captain Rodriguez rolled his eyes when he first saw Elena's tools. "Kowalski, are you serious? This is the nuclear age. You're going to handle a bomb with your vintage collection?" Young technician Marcus Webb smirked. "Grandma, do you at least know how to use a digital multimeter?" Elena continued quietly organizing her tools. The leather tool case was World War II vintage, the type her grandfather had carried on every operation. Inside was an analog multimeter, various sized wire cutters, a magnifying glass, and a small notebook. Not digital note-taking, but handwritten. "Are those instruments reliable?" asked new team member Sarah Chen with genuine curiosity. "Reliable?" Elena held up her wire cutters. "These were made in 1943. They haven't failed once since then. Can you say the same about your tablet?" 3 months ago, just weeks after Elena joined the team, their first major test had come. A suspicious package was found in the basement of a downtown office building. Modern equipment couldn't get clear readings. Thermal cameras were picking up interference signals. Rodriguez had gathered his team. "Nobody takes risks. We're sending in the robots." When the robot approached, the electromagnetic field around the device disabled it. The second robot met the same fate. "Elena," Rodriguez reluctantly turned to her, "would your traditional methods work in this situation?" Elena gathered her tools and approached. She looked at the device from several meters away, then pulled out her magnifying glass. 5 minutes later, she returned. Homemade device. Used an old alarm clock mechanism. Plastic explosive, but small quantity. "The real threat is instability in the electromagnetic field. You can't see the wire colors because LED lights are distorting the spectrum." I listened. Elena gave a simple answer. "Devices speak, you just need to know the right language." The current situation was far more serious. The warehouse was an old chemical factory, and the bomb was designed to interact with remaining chemicals in the building. If it exploded, it wouldn't just destroy the building, but could take out 6 surrounding blocks. Rodriguez panicked at the readings on his screen. "Electromagnetic interference is off the charts. Our equipment can't get a clean signal. Webb, try rebooting the system." "Tried it, sir. Main processor isn't responding. Backup systems are in the same state." Chen was desperately tapping on her tablet. "Can't establish communication with Central Command. Even emergency frequencies are scrambled." Elena approached the device. The digital display was counting down from 1347. 13 minutes, 47 seconds. Elena smiled. "Captain, modern trigger systems are still based on the same fundamentals. Electric current, voltage differences, circuit completion. Physics hasn't changed, only the packaging has. Elena pulled out her magnifying glass and began examining the device. The digital display was eye-catching, but what she saw beneath it was more interesting. Webb, do you know who made this device? According to intelligence reports, a former engineer, Dr. Friedrich Steiner, electromagnetic warfare specialist. Elena paused. Steiner? That name sounds familiar. She pulled out her notebook and flipped through the pages. Handwritten notes, drawings, schematics. Found it. She put her finger on a page. Steiner's design philosophy. My grandfather encountered him during the war. Steiner always uses the same principle: complex appearance, simple core, intimidates people with electronic complexity, but fundamentally follows mechanical logic. 1223, 1222, 1221. What do you mean? Chen asked. The digital display and electromagnetic field are deterrents. The real bomb is in the internal mechanical system. Old-fashioned clock mechanism. My grandfather solved these types of devices by candlelight because there was no electricity. We're in the same situation right now. Elena pulled out her analog multimeter. Not digital, needle-based, unaffected by electromagnetic interference. Getting voltage readings, 3 different circuits. First circuit, power source. Second circuit, timing trigger. Third circuit, ... She paused. What's the third circuit? Rodriguez's voice carried tension. Motion sensor. If we approach the device from the wrong angle, it explodes instantly. Elena raised her magnifying glass. But there's a problem here. Wire colors aren't standard. Steiner changed the colors. 945, 944, 943. Webb panicked. Then how will we know which wire to cut? By listening to the noise. Elena moved the multimeter to different points. Each circuit emits a different frequency. My grandfather taught me this. Your eyes can deceive you, but your ears never lie. Elena closed her eyes and brought the multimeter close to various parts of the device. The needle swayed, but she was listening to the sound changes. The wire on the left, no. The middle section, not the red wire, the black wire, that's the power source. 633, 632, 631. Elena, are you sure? Rodriguez held his breath. We can never be 100% certain of anything, Captain. But my grandfather used to say, sometimes you have to trust experience more than technical knowledge. Elena took her grandfather's wire cutters in hand. The metal was cold, but her hands were steady. Steiner's designs always have a trap. The obvious solution is wrong. The real solution is where no one would think to look. 417, 416, 415. Elena looked under the device. There, in an almost invisible spot, was a third wire, gray, thin, almost unnoticeable. There it is. She positioned the magnifying glass. The real power wire. The others are decoys. But what if you're wrong? Elena smiled. Then we'll learn very quickly. 208, 207, 206. She positioned the wire cutters, took a breath, heard her grandfather's voice. Feel the device, little one. She cut. The screen stopped, frozen at 134. 5 seconds passed. Nothing happened. 10 seconds. Still silence. Then the device's lights slowly dimmed and went completely dead. Webb took a deep breath. How did you know which wire it was? Elena replied while packing her tools. Because sometimes the most advanced technology hides the simplest solution. Steiner was using old techniques under a modernity mask, but my grandfather knew those techniques before him. Rodriguez shook his head. Kowalski, I think I owe you an apology, and so does the rest of the team. Not necessary, Captain. Everyone needs to learn. I was lucky to have my grandfather as a teacher. Chen pointed to Elena's notebook. With these notes, would you share what you've learned with us? Elena thought about it. Of course, but remember, technology is a helper, not a master. Real skill is listening and feeling. No machine can teach you that. Webb examined Elena's wire cutters. Are these tools really from World War II? Yes. And my grandfather's father used them too, in World War I. Sometimes reliability is measured in generations, not model numbers. As the team left the warehouse, Elena stayed behind. She checked her tools one last time and closed the leather case. She looked at her grandfather's photo. Inside the case lid, a faded but proud photograph. Once again, grandfather, she whispered, your techniques are still saving lives. Outside, as the sun set, the city had returned to normal life. No one knew how close 6 blocks had come to disaster. No one had seen how a woman and her vintage tools had beaten modern technology. And maybe that was better. Because some heroes work quietly, some victories are won with whispers, and sometimes the oldest tools solve the hardest problems. As Elena Kowalski drove home, she prepared her tools for the next day. Because there would be other bombs, other technology problems, and each time her grandfather's voice would guide her. Listen, little one, the answers are always there. You just need to know the right language.